Republicans are right now mounting one last sneak attack against Obamacare, and this time they could actually succeed. Mitch McConnell and other Senate Republicans are now attempting to rush through a bill that would overhaul 1/6 of the nation's economy in less than 2 weeks. Even the Congressional Budget Office says it won't have enough time to figure out what would happen if the so-called Graham-Cassidy bill were put into law, how it would affect Americans and their health care coverage in time for the expected vote next week. Republicans need to hit that September 30th deadline in order to pass the law on a straight majority vote without a filibuster, and nowhere near enough time for substantive discussion or hearings. Nevertheless, the bill is already showing signs of momentum among Republicans. Senator John McCain, who, of course, provided the dramatic thumbs down back in July that helped kill the last Republican attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act, said that the support of his state's governor would be key to his vote on this legislation. Well, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey today might have given McCain the cover he needs to vote for the bill, tweeting that he's in favor of it. Democrats are sounding the alarm, saying the new bill would gut Medicaid and hurt people with pre-existing medical conditions. Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii tweeting today, "What's crazy is this bill is much more radical and harmful than skinny repeal." Senator Schatz was the leading voice in that last Obamacare fight, the skinny repeal fight, and he's been ringing the alarm bell for Democrats on this new repeal attempt. He joins me now. Explain what you mean when you say this is worse than the so-called skinny repeal, which was what they were trying to pass when John McCain gave that thumbs down along with Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins.
So there were 2 or 3 or 4 bills over the last 7 months, and all of them did awful things, but not all of them did all of the awful things in one piece of legislation, and that's what we have in Graham-Cassidy. It eliminates protections for people with pre-existing conditions. It eliminates all of the essential health benefits that are part of the Affordable Care Act. It, again, lifts the prohibition on charging people more as they get older. It lifts the prohibition on charging more than 15% as an administrative expense as opposed to for health care. And it also guts Medicaid as we know it, and it eliminates Medicaid expansion. Oh, and it also defunds Planned Parenthood. Most of the bills that we looked at did about 2/3 of that in various sort of iterations. This is a bill that has decided to do all of that in one radical piece of legislation. And what is really scary is that they're pretty close. They are at, depends who you ask, but they're certainly very, very close to enacting this into law. And we're going to need people who were with us in this fight over the last 6 to 8 months to fire up those phone lines, to get online, to knock on doors at district offices and make sure that we kill this thing again. But I have to say, I was trying not to sound the alarm until it was absolutely necessary, and now we are really in an extreme situation. We've got to try to kill this bill in the next 10 days.
There's just something sort of bonkers going on, which has been the case every time they try to do this. And it's been the case in the House and the Senate, where there's no regular order, there's no deliberative process, there's no committee hearings with, there's none of that, right? It's just like keep it closely held and then like break in like it's a heist of a bank and see if you can, get in and get out. They don't have enough time. Am I correct on this? They've given it to the CBO to score for basics about like, would premiums go up? Would people lose coverage? And there's not enough time for the CBO to actually give a full score in time to get the vote. Is that correct?
That's right. CBO just got back to us and said the only thing they can do is assess the fiscal impact of this legislation. So they will know whether or not there's any quote-unquote savings. Now, remember, savings usually comes out of the hide of the American people. So let's be careful about using the word savings when we're talking about harm to individuals. But they basically said, look, they need another couple of weeks to analyze the impact that this bill will have on coverage in everyone's home state. And so what we are heading towards is people are going to vote yes or no on a piece of legislation to restructure 1/5 to 1/6 of the American economy, to probably throw 20 to 30 million people off of their health care, but we're not going to know the impacts until after we vote. What is so shocking to me is so many people talk about the regular order, and all that means is that the Senate acts like a Senate. It has hearings, it hears from experts, we have a proper debate, but now we're not even going to be able to listen to expert analysis on what the impact is. But here's the thing we know, because it has all of the elements of these previous bills, which had awful CBO reports, 23 million off coverage, 26 million, 32 million, this will be as bad, if not worse, worse than that. And at the final point, and I saw you making it on Twitter, I think we will have anywhere from literally by rule 90 seconds to 2 minutes of debate on this legislation. Now that is an abomination. That is legislative malpractice.
I want people to be clear on this, and Senate procedure can be arcane, and it is arcane in this case because you're dealing with reconciliation. But by rule, I want people to understand this. There are essentially 90 seconds. Everyone just clock that in your head. That's 90 seconds of debate left for this entire legislation before the Senate. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, and this is just, there's no reason to do it this way. And I think the really encouraging thing that happened over the last month, which was as a result of John McCain's heroic moment on the Senate floor, is that Lamar Alexander, the chairman of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, and Patty Murray, the top Democrat on that committee, have been working together in a bipartisan process. And that is what people wanted to see all along. Democrats, Republicans, and independents, they are blowing this thing up so that they can shove this down the American people's throat. And it is all because they have no political wins this year. And so they're going to inflict pain on their constituents just to notch a win for Donald Trump.
90 seconds of debate, America. Get ready for it. Senator Brian Schatz, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.